The Mandalika Grand Prix Association, or MGPA, has announced that 2024 racing events at the Pertamina Mandalika Circuit in West Nusa Tenggara have helped boost local economy. Among this was the first racing event organized by Radical Motorsport in Indonesia. The Radical Indonesia Series, a collaboration between PT Nora Jelajah Dunia and MGPA, has introduced a new dimension to Indonesian racing. The race offers an unparalleled racing experience, signifying a fresh innovation in the country's motorsport scene. The Radical Indonesia Series is set to feature at the prestigious GT Fanatec Asia racing event in May. The race is expected to further boost the region's motorsports appeal as well as economic development. And now we will discuss more about Radical Race, which is also related to Indonesia economic growth through sport tourism. We have with us Yasuo Sena Iriawan, who is a racer and also the Radical Indonesia brand ambassadors, and also Joshua Budiman, who is the CEO and co-founder of Sekuya. And still with us is Irene Umar, Vice President for Creative Economy. Good afternoon to all of you. Thank you so much again. Irene, thank you for sticking around. All right, so let's go with Joshua and Sekuya. How do you see sport industry potential and the trends in 2025?
Yeah, I think it's very interesting if we see that the sport tourism and combine it into the gaming and the racing itself. If we combine all of these three industries, it goes into around $11 billion market for Indonesia itself. So that's very interesting for Indonesia because as like Gotong Royong, what Miss Irene said about it's very interesting to be able to make a collaboration in between these industries. So I think it's very potential for 2025.
Okay, how about you? What's your take on the 2025?
Yeah, I think 2025 could be a better year than last year, although last year has been a pretty significant year for Radical, especially for the growth of motorsport itself by having the simulation and digital into the real racing in one. So I hope this year that we will keep growing as an industry as well.
I'm sorry, can you just give me an idea of like, is this simulation only been seen the last year in 2024, or has it been around and then we just start adapting it?
It's been out there in Indonesia since the year of 2010.
Okay.
To be honest, but only a lot of like racing fanatics that's on it,
Okay.
Like a lot of speed freaks are because again, it's an expensive thing back in the day.
All right.
Even in 2010. Even to have those kind of simulation, because we're talking about technology, and technology is not cheap. So the more you go, yeah, it's getting cheaper now. But I think back then, that's why the growth isn't so significant. I think it's because not a lot of people know about motorsport, and it's a very niche market. And I think nowadays, the sport is growing with the help of others in the industry as well.
Okay, can you give me an idea of like, how much is it like a gear for like an actual racing on the road compared to a simulation?
A gear, you say? You mean?
I mean like the cars.
The cars. I mean,
I mean, how far is the difference? Like we're talking like 10x, 100x, 1000x?
I mean, it depends on which car are you referring to.
Right.
I mean, if you're referring to a Radical car or you're referring to a Formula car, I think it costs about around $150,000 to $200,000.
Just for the
car? Yeah, again, it's excluded your registration fee and all those kind of things,
And then a simulation, simulators, how much will it?
I mean, it depends. Everything have a level. Again, in the simulation world, it had levels too.
Are we breaking 10,000 or 50,000 US dollars?
No, it's less than that. If you're talking about the basic things, I think maybe $1,000 is enough to make the whole thing.
That's a huge
entry level.
Right?
Entry level. I mean, aside comparing to the real racing, it's far off. I mean, $1,000 compared to 200,000.
You can't really have the feel and all that. All right. So, could you tell us the background story of the Radical Indonesia?
Again, I think Radical itself is a UK brand.
Okay.
Where it's actually a prototype car. The Radical Indonesia is here actually to give experience to all the Indonesian and to all the maybe racing athlete who's wanting to know how to become a racing driver. I mean, again, because racing or motorsport in Indonesia is very niche. And I think by the existence of radical, it gives more understanding to people that, oh, there is this kind of racing in Indonesia. And I think how can we increase this kind of level again is by having more tracks maybe in Indonesia.
Okay.
I mean, because as information goes, I think right now it's not that easy to access racing information in Indonesia, but it's getting more better than it used to. And I hope by the existence of the simulation, the collaboration with aircraft and Sekuya, I hope it will, it will bring the game to another level.
So how many races are at the moment for Radical Indonesia, and then what are expected for 2025?
Racers, again, there is no direct radical racers.
Okay.
So we can take anyone, to be honest.
Okay.
With the proper guidance and achievement and all. Anyone can race. I mean...
Even me?
Yeah. Everyone can race. But again, the guidance, the study, I mean, it's a lot of things.
Okay.
I mean, racing is same like education. Yeah. Like when you go to elementary school to high school, it's the same with racing. You have this elementary, and then you have high school, and then after you have university.
Wait, I have to spend another 15 years to actually learn how to
No,
race?
not really. I mean, with the existence of racing school right now in Indonesia, I think it gives a much quicker guidance.
Okay.
For
people to actually join racing. So, why did you choose Sekuya as the partner of Radical Indonesia, and what's the expectation here?
Oh, I think at first, because if we're talking about racing in general, it's only racing.
Okay.
But in the world itself, especially around COVID, the digital and the real racing has become one.
Okay.
So I think it's a unique opportunity to become one with Sekuya, and right now maybe with aircraft as well, to expose this more in the world, that there is nothing in the sport industry that you can't mix up with digital world. So I think it'll be good for, again, exposure, and as well maybe rising new talent from either Indonesia or Asia or maybe the world. I mean, we hope that we might be the first pioneer in doing this, and we hope it goes smooth sailing. I mean, last year went pretty well. I hope this year goes even better. And
then how about you? What is it for you on this collaboration?
Yeah, I think everything it start from a simple lunch. So we have a simple lunch with the Radical, and then looking at how we see things in innovation and creative economy definitely.
Okay.
Because Sekuya basically is a gaming and entertainment company. So focus on from one community we start, and now we grow into about 300 community in Southeast Asia. And as we make our game, we also do a lot of IP things. So in this IP collaboration, we talk with Radical and looking at the fun thing in racing. I think it's very, very interesting to be able to combine both of things. And you can see in how we make like the anime race cars, and we also bring like Web3 projects into the racing, and a lot of discussion also with Miss Irene about how we are able to make the collaboration works. So I think it's very interesting.
When you say Web3, are you talking about we actually can build like a track, or like how is it, or create the games, or what's the plan there?
I think Web3 itself is very simple actually. Yeah. It's about the technology itself that can elevate a lot of simple things and lifestyle that we can bring into it. So if we talk into the racing, we can start from the collaboration itself into the Web3 projects outside of Indonesia. So like, for example, the Indonesia Legends jacket that we see Miss Irene use right now, the final form of it will have like a lot of collaboration from the Dubai, USA, Japan, Singapore. Everything will be combined together to support this program. So I think that's the core of it there, other than the technology itself that will elevate the racing team.
Interesting. Now, Irene, I have to ask you, I heard that, so how the collaboration between Radical and Sekuya will support in the creative economy sector itself?
I think I want to add on that note, right, to what Sena has said about racing itself. So when blurring the line between the virtual world and the real world, it's because the technology now enables users to experience that at a lower price point level. So if you remember previously, to get a 65-inch TV is freaking expensive, but right now it's pretty accessible to a lot of people, right? Not everyone, but a lot of people. And flat TV is now accessible to pretty much everyone because the price point has gone down. So in a similar manner, simulations is now a lot cheaper. Now, when we talk about simulations, I want to go down to a bit more details, right? Because when we talk about cars, like you were comparing only the car, that's the price of buying the car.
Nice.
You got to think about changing the tire, the spare parts within it, renting the space of the racetrack.
Yes.
Now, bringing it to digital, you don't have to think about all the maintenance thing. And one thing is that in digital, you can learn about the spare parts, about how to change it, which one is more suitable to you, and get the feel of the hands. But here's the thing. A lot of people would like to become a racer, right? You ask any kids, they will say that I want to be a racer. Why? Because it looks cool. But there's a lot of hard work. What he doesn't say is that the hard work that he had to go through in order to get to where he is today, right? So at least in the digital space, it gives a glimpse of to us, how serious do you want to go to the next level, right? Once he's ready, at least he doesn't start from zero. That accelerate the process, right? And so when they hit the racetrack, it's no longer aircon. Like if you see him getting out of the racetrack, he'll be drenched, right? And so that's just one simple thing, right? So having the digital world, it's a good test in the beginning and to test the technicalities. Not everybody can be a racer, but there are still a lot of ecosystem around it. Who's going to change the tire? Changing a tire is not that simple, right? It looks simple, it's not. There's mechanics that's involved. Everything could be learned through the simulations that's now accessible, and then the entire ecosystem can thrive. So that's one, and there's a lot of economic components around it, just around that one racetrack. So if you see it Formula One, right? And there's, just count how many people there are when the racer drop in. There's one racer, but the supporting actors around it, there's more than 10. Those are jobs creations. That's the entire industry in itself. So for me, it's important to have Senna, who's the fastest human, the first fastest humans in Mandalika. He needs to claim it, right? And to be there to see and be very passionate about the industry, very passionate about it, and the hard work that I think you need to tell the story to the world, right? Of how hard it is to get to this point. And supporting all the young ones that they don't have to go through what Senna had done, had gone through because of the technological ability to get there. Now, Sekuya come into the picture because he is pretty good in terms of IP collaborations and bringing everyone together. And when we talk about Web3 or blockchain, because this is such a new animal, right? Not everybody understand what it is, and a lot of people feel that it's very high tech. Now, when we bring it to the racetrack, it's very simple, right? Where everyone who watched the racing, there's a niche market who watch it. Right, and a lot of these guys are in Web3. So in order to access eyeballs of advertisements, the first thing that we could offer is the car itself. You could put a brand on it. It doesn't have to be Formula One. That's not accessible to all brands. It's now accessible in Mandalika. So all the Japanese brands, American brands now could access into it, having their logos on the racetrack. When aircraft launched our logo on the racetrack, we had a car with aircraft logos, but not only aircraft, but all the 17 subsectors logos that are chosen are actually there. It's to showcase how a car is accessible to all, not only the racer, but brands can participate in it as well, so they can get eyeballs. So that's the simplest one, right? Once awareness is created, then you build in all the techie stuff on top of it that requires time. I like this guy a lot, Josh, because for him, he just want to go after the lowest hanging fruits, show people how it's done, and then scale it up later on. At least you try it, right? If you don't try it, then you'll never know what works and what doesn't work. So for Economy Creative, Indonesia, we want to support this sort of initiatives, right? To see how we could bring local talents at the grassroots level even, and at not only in Jakarta, but not only saturated in Jakarta, but throughout the Indonesia, how we could push these initiatives digitally, but bring it to the real world as well, so that it can create economic movements. Yeah, pretty much that's what I'm trying to do.
I love that. I mean, it sounds like it's like a leapfrog. Like, I mean, we don't have to get the actual item first, so, but like to get to that point, then we just gonna jump with the simulators, and like all the collaborations gonna bring us there. Now, this is for all three of you. Where do you think Indonesia stands in competing with other Southeast Asia countries, especially in this matter right now? Let's go with Irene first.
Specifically to racing, or?
For racing, well, I mean, you can talk about the whole creative economy, and then you can talk about like, because you already have like communities, in 300 communities throughout the regions,
Asia, yeah.
right? So you can talk about that, and then
Yep.
and then
Maybe we can start with racing first, if you don't mind, right?
The king first. The king.
Yes,
Go ahead.
the fastest man.
Thank you. I think, again, the racing world, when it comes to digital, it's been there for a long time.
Okay.
And I don't think there was a lot of exposure back in the day. I think we have a lot of good simulation racing driver in Indonesia that has been winning maybe in Japan and in other countries that we don't even know. But again, the racing people know, but the public don't know about it. So I think for now, once this has become a big event, I think it's their time to shine again now. So I think it'll be good for them, and it'll be good for us as well in the real offline sport, that we can get new racing talents and new environment in the next racing championships.
Interesting. Josh.
Yeah, so I think just like if you can see, like Sekuya itself is like the heart. Like we just rebrand our the logo by the early this year. So basically we see that like Indonesia values like gotong royong. If we see like the car industry, let's say in the gaming itself, Philippines right now have like $3 billion, and Indonesia start around $2 billion for the gaming industry. So it can grow even better because Indonesia have like around 160 million gamers in Indonesia, right? And converting the gamers into the racers, right now the simulator racers is less than 5,000.
Wow. Okay.
So you can convert that million people into the racers, which is giving them opportunity to have a lot of more creative economy, right? And talking about the Southeast Asia, it's never about the competition, I think, between the countries, but about the collaboration itself. So imagine that if we can collab with all of this Southeast Asia and then make something big together, I think that's how we see things going. And yeah, right now we already tapping into around 10 million users in total. And to be able to tap into more and making into all this industry work together, I think that's the amazing thing that we can do in Southeast Asia.
And Irene.
You asked interesting questions about where we are at when it comes to creative economy. Right now, as the ministry, because there's a lot of new jobs that are created, right? So I would rather wait till we get all the data lined up, because we work pretty closely with Bappenas and BPS right now to see what are the new jobs that needs to be created, because that will stack up to how large the creative economy is. But we have 17 plus subsectors, right, that's under creative economy. And so I'm pretty confident that this is indeed a new engine of growth. We just need to make sure that technologically and also in terms of the basic calculations of the economic numbers needs to be put in place. And that's my job for the next 1 year, hopefully less, but in the next 1 year, that's the target that we want to collect all of this. So for example, Zoom operators, there's no such job before, right? TikTokers, there's no such job before. YouTuber, there was no such job before. So all of this needs to be updated, and that's what we're doing. Racing simulator, there's no such job before, right? So data-wise, we are putting that together, but where we are at, realistically, for Indonesians, our products, our talents are acknowledged globally. As Indonesians, that's why I'm pretty happy having SEATODAY to see how we could showcase it nationally so that pride will be grown and let it shine, be the lighthouse, right? And so for anyone who want to go to Mandalika, if you're confused, like, oh, what am I going to do in Mandalika other than the beach and go and see the racetrack, you could book can they book a session with him?
Yeah, you can book a session.
So you could book a session with him to become a racer, or if you can't race, then I experienced that. I sat next to him and had the time of my life. It was fun, right? You don't have to fly all the way to Abu Dhabi. You can just go to Mandalika and experience that. And if anyone would like to learn about Web3, join the Sekuya community. That's how you can start learning, because you need to be together with the like-minded people. And before you need to travel, right now, log into Discord, right, or Telegram, and you are with your peers. And if you put a mindset of I want to learn, then you're able to do that. For creative economy, as a ministry, we are setting the foundations, not only the data, but the foundation that's needed, connecting the dots, looking at ecosystem players, and working together with other ministries so that we as a cabinet can move together.
All right. Thank you so much, Vice Minister Irene. Thank you for being here, Joshua. And then Sienna, thank you so much for sharing with us. I was thinking we can talk more and do simulation here in the studio, but I guess we can do that next time. All right, that was our conversation on the 2025 Indonesia Sport Tourism Industry for today. Business Talk, you can stay connected with us on Instagram, X, and YouTube at SEATODAY News. We are also available online at SEATODAYNews.com. Let's stay connected.